Washington tonight, the anti-humans. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, there's so many causes trying to get your attention during the year, like advocating for animal rights, maybe for the Second Amendment, abortion, for veterans. But you probably didn't know that there is a movement that's actively lobbying for the end of the human race.
You're involved with an extinction movement. Correct. You basically say we just need to live long and die out. We just need to feed, not breed. Is that what you say?
Feed them, don't breed them. Yes, that's right. My plan is for everyone to think before they procreate. And if we all stop procreating, we'll go extinct slowly. We can clean up our messes as we go. And the biosphere, what's left of it, will have a chance to recover.
Okay, Gramps. Well, the Voluntary Human Extinction Movement is essentially a wacko consortium, kind of an environmental group that believes man is killing the planet, and therefore that man has to die off in order to save the planet. Les Knight, who you just saw there, founded the organization and feels very altruistic for having gotten a vasectomy at the ripe old age of 25. Now, he claims that childlessness would give the last humans the opportunity to live in a world comparable to the Garden of Eden. And he claims that procreation today is de facto child abuse. And of course, being a hippie from the 70s, he thinks people like him are victims.
Hundreds of millions of couples are denied their right to not procreate. They do not have the contraceptive services, reproductive health services that they need. Those are not provided. Try to get a sterilization here in America when you haven't had kids and you're only 22.
That's true.
We're not allowing people to not breed.
Okay, Les, maybe only the stupid people should die out. Now, he may seem extreme, and he is, but this ideology is actually growing. The Atlantic recently noted that from Silicon Valley boardrooms to rural communities to academic philosophy departments, a seemingly inconceivable idea is being seriously discussed, that the end of humanity's reign on Earth is imminent, and that we should welcome it. Anti-humanism is inspired by revulsion at humanity's destruction of the natural environment. And some anti-humanist thinkers look forward to the extinction of our species, while others predict that even if some people survive the coming environmental apocalypse, civilization as a whole is doomed. Then there's another gem called transhumanism. It propounds that the only way forward for humanity is to create new forms of intelligent life that will no longer be Homo sapiens. I guess think robots and things happening in the metaverse. Now, crusaders for climate change, abortion, euthanasia, gender fluidity, they all lead eventually their thinking to the devaluing of human life. So at its core, being anti-human, it means being anti-truth, because it involves the questioning or denying of objective facts, including those at the very heart of our existence.
You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
But
myself.
you used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
That describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Now, when asked simple questions, the cult of gender deviancy collapses into meaningless slogans and blather. None of it makes any sense, but it's deeply anti-human. Now, it's same with so much of what we hear from the Church of Global Warming. William Happer, professor of physics at Princeton, refers to it as the carbon cult. Now, remember, carbon is essential in both the production of food and overall nutrition for us. It's impossible without carbon dioxide, and a lot of carbon dioxide is necessary to feed the planet. But remember, a lot of powerful people secretly agree with Mr. Knight that there are too many humans around anyway, and they're the problem.
Our planet is going to face disaster if we don't turn the ship around. And so it's basically like there's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question. Is it okay to still have children?
Well, the battle to kill off oil and gas is actually a battle against life itself, because cheap, abundant energy makes more life possible. But these forces, the ones we're discussing, they don't want more life, at least not human life. Now look at the story we brought you earlier this week, the sick obsession in Canada with not just euthanasia, but in streamlining access to it. Now in Canada, 1 in 30 deaths are due to assisted suicide. And it's even promoted by corporations in weird, sleek promotional campaigns.
Last breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see bubbles. I see the ocean. I see music. Even now, as I seek help to end my life, there is still so much beauty. You just have to be brave enough to see it.
Now, this isn't assisted suicide. It's encouraged suicide, sold ironically as a human right. For years now, choosing when life should end, essentially playing God, is marketed as the godly thing to do.
Just as I choose a ship to sail in or a house to live in, so I choose a death for my passage from life. Nowhere should we indulge the soul more than in dying. Let it go as it lists. If it craves the sword or the noose or some potion that constricts its veins, on with it. Let it break the chain of slavery.
Slavery. Life is slavery. Here in America, 10 states and Washington, D.C. already permit assisted suicide. And in Oregon, the death lobby is so strong that doctors can now write assisted suicide prescriptions for non-residents. Now, you kind of imagine the Chamber of Commerce ad campaigns. Welcome to Oregon. Beautiful forests, rugged coastline, and suicide tourism. Of course, no discussion of the left's anti-human movement would be complete without spotlighting the abortion lobby. The more dead preborn babies, the more successful Planned Parenthood's business model. Death is their growing industry, which is why abortion fanatics always oppose women having full knowledge of what the choice really involves, something a sonogram can actually provide. Planned Parenthood opposes requiring sonograms. And just like the other murderous tyrants of the 20th century, they manipulate language to shape debate. So the dismemberment of infants in the womb becomes merely a woman's reproductive freedom. It sounds almost noble, but it's sick. Because a normal, healthy society values and protects human life. It doesn't promote death or twist basic truths. And those of us with faith believe that the ultimate decision maker about life and death rests not with man, but with the Almighty. Such wasn't the thinking of Hitler, Pol Pot, Stalin, or Mao. They all believed that they had the supreme right to decide who lived and who died. And they justified their purges by dehumanizing their victims, declaring the genocide necessary for the security and harmony of their nations. A different sort of dehumanization campaign is happening here, and we have to stop it from spreading. And that's the angle.